Ryan Salazar here with Broadcast Beat. Today we have a very special guest, Bryce Button, Product Marketing Manager at AJA Video. How you doing, Bryce?
Doing very well, Ryan. Great to see you again.
Great to see you. So we always love chatting with AJA Video. You guys have some exciting announcements. Based on AJA's recent product announcements, it seems like the company is closely following the trend towards IP, especially supporting HDR workflows. Could you chat about that?
Absolutely. So obviously, broadcast IP is a major transition point. We're involved initially with the Kona IP, which was our first I/O card that we announced at NAB this year. And we brought that out with 2022-6 support, which is basically uncompressed video and audio across IP. And then at IBC in September recently, we announced that the new firmware, which is absolutely free, will also give you 2022-7. And that includes redundancy for using the two SFP cages so that you can get your signal across two different networks and make sure that you basically have some redundancy protection, which broadcasters obviously require. But alongside that, we've also added HDR support. And this HDR support is contained with the HD10 protocol, which effectively gives you 10-bit support. And for those who aren't that familiar with HDR, your current television, for instance, is giving you about 8 stops of range. With HDR, you get dynamic range all the way up to about 15 stops. So that's a lot of flexibility and bringing a tool to creatives because it's a Kona card. It can be utilized just like any of our other Kona cards with Avid, for instance, Adobe, Final Cut Pro. And that gets you right into IP and also provides this wonderful creative extension with HDR support.
So let's talk about RovoCam, AJA's newest camera, and the ecosystem of accessories that work alongside it, especially where you mentioned an HD-based T interface, is that right?
That's correct. The RovoCam utilizes a block camera developed by Sony and includes some wonderful Sony optics. And it's designed for Ultra HD work as well as HD. And the way that the signal is connected is it works point to point. So it does use an Ethernet cable. That's category cable, both 5 and 6, but it's point-to-point. It's not going across an entire network. But what it gives you through using this type of cabling is the ability to run up to 100 meters long. It also was able to transfer video and audio directly from the camera to our receivers. Our receivers are known as Rover RX receivers, and we have both an HDMI version and a 6G SDI version, which we announced at IBC for reception. And also across this connectivity, you can actually control the camera itself utilizing software that's free software from us called Rover Control 2.0, as well as actually transfer power to the camera. And this is very popular for live events, facilities, sports stadiums, for instance, because you can place the camera somewhere where power might sometimes be a problem, especially with live events, when you have power going close to audio sources. So a lot of flexibility and a very open workflow utilizing this combination.
All right, so Bryce, AJA really ushered in the era of portable digital record devices. Let's talk about the latest developments with the Key Pro Ultra.
Yeah, our Key Pro line of products has been a huge hit since 2009 when we first got going with them. And the whole point was to create standalone devices that could record incredible video with beautiful colors, up to 10-bit, in fact 12-bit with some of the latest recorders. And so the current high-end model is the Key Pro Ultra, which is designed to handle 4K, Ultra HD. And what we've done with this latest version of firmware, which will be out very shortly now, it's version 2.0, we announced it at IBC, is it adds the addition of Avid DNX HD as a codec option alongside our already popular ProRes options, which go all the way up to ProRes 444. In the last year, we've released 3 or 4 firmware updates, including everything from 16 channels of audio support across SDI embedded, the ability to utilize closed captioning. We just continue to increase the workflows available. That's one of the great things about AJA products. We can do pretty massive firmware updates with them. And most of the time, those firmware updates are completely free.
So as we lead into the Hollywood and Highland event with SMPTE in Los Angeles, literally next week we're going to be there, why is it so important for a company like AJA to be affiliated with SMPTE?
AJA has been affiliated with SMPTE for a long time now, and SMPTE really offers three things. There's the membership, standards, and education. And we are, for instance, a silver member. As an organization, we've been involved for years. In fact, one of our directors of engineering is currently the chair of the Sacramento chapter of SMPTE. SMPTE has over 7,000 members worldwide, and that comes, speaks into standardization. The whole point is to make products interoperable, to provide the user known basis standards so they know what they're getting into when they buy a product. And in the 23 years AJ has been around, we have been very actively involved in ensuring that all our products meet SMPTE standards so that end users get a really predictable experience. On the educational front, we regularly host meetings, generally twice a year, as part of our chapter membership. And it's been an incredible organization in the sense of the dialogue, the teamwork between various representatives who, of course, represent a range of different companies to provide end users with a really satisfying experience.
So are there any products or workflows being showcased by AJA at SMPTE's Hollywood and Highland event next week that could provide a crystal ball into what's coming up from AJA in the near future?
Well, certainly when it comes to future products, we never talk about the actual products that might be coming. But I think we'll get a great sense in terms of seeing the products on display that we're trying to cover as many areas that really matter to people going forward as possible. So, of course, you'll see Kona IP, some of our IP receivers that handle JPEG 2000 streams. All these sorts of peripherals are going to be very necessary as the IP movement goes forward. HDR products like the IO 4K, RoverCam, of course, with its HD-based T interfaces we talked about prior. And then, of course, for over-the-top type of broadcasting, things like Hilo, our upcoming standalone streaming device, which can record at H.264 and then provide a streaming signal output to CDNs, in other words, networks, for those who are looking for an alternative or an offering that's on top of traditional broadcast.
We certainly can't wait to see you guys at the Hollywood and Highland 2016 Annual Technical Conference and Exhibition from Monday, October 24th through Thursday, October 27th, booth 317. Again, Bryce Button, Product Marketing Manager at AJA Video. It was great chatting with you. See you soon.
Thanks very much, Ryan. Always a pleasure to enjoy you, and I hope all the attendees at the show have a really great time seeing what all the vendors have to offer.